Hi everyone, Professor Stefero here, and today's screencast is on energy in the cell. Some organisms use energy-converting reactions to produce light, and this process is called bioluminescence. Many marine invertebrates and fishes, just like those that you see, use bioluminescence to hide themselves from predators. Scientists estimate that 90% of deep-sea marine life produce bioluminescence. The light is produced from chemical reactions that convert chemical energy in the food that the organism eats into visible light. Bioluminescence is an example of the multitude of energy conversions that a cell can perform. Many of a cell's reactions take place in organelles and in the membranes of those organelles, and ultimately that energy transformation is used by the cell and the organism to do work. So let's take a look at energy. Let's leave our lovely bioluminescent invertebrate, jellyfish, and talk about energy in general and then as it relates to the cell. So energy is the capacity to do work and cause change. And everyday examples could be things like hammering a nail, texting in class, and sitting at your desk. But in biological systems, the cell performs three kinds of activities that we refer to as work. Chemical work, such as building molecules, mechanical work, such as any kind of movement, so muscle contraction, or those motor proteins moving vesicles would be examples, and then transport work. And since energy is required for this is going to be active transport. And so you can see in each case, ATP drives the three types of cell work. And ATP then becomes this energy currency. We'll end up looking at how it's produced in the cell. So to do that, we're going to talk about energy in general first, and then we'll begin to apply it to the cell. There are two kinds of energy, and the first is potential energy. This is the energy of position or stored energy. And there are three types. Gravitational potential energy. This is the higher the object is from the ground, the higher the gravitational potential energy. Chemical potential energy. This is energy stored in chemical bonds. This is the one that's going to be important for cells. And stored mechanical energy, like a slingshot or a bow and arrow. The second type is kinetic energy. This is the energy in motion. Kinetic energy includes thermal or heat energy, and we've seen this as we've talked about matter and how matter moves faster basically due to heat. We've talked a little bit about light, but that would be another kind of kinetic, sound, and then motion or mechanical energy. These are all types of energy in motion. Let's take a look at the video that explains both kinetic and potential energy.
Energy is the capacity to cause change. Kinetic energy is the energy associated with motion. Energy that is not kinetic is called potential energy, and is energy that matter possesses because of its location or structure. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, but converted from one form to another. This property is called the conservation of energy.
The bow and arrow start out with low potential energy. As the archer's arm pulls back the string, kinetic energy from the arm's motion is converted to potential energy in the tense bowstring and arrow. When the bowstring is released, the stored potential energy is converted into the kinetic energy of the moving arrow. When the arrow hits the target, its motion ceases. If energy is neither created nor destroyed, where did the energy of the flying arrow go? Let's rewind and look at kinetic energy in more detail. When energy is converted from potential energy to kinetic energy, some of the energy can be used to do work, but some energy ends up as heat, a type of kinetic energy. Heat is the random motion of atoms and molecules. As the arrow flies through the air, heat is generated by friction between the arrow and air molecules. When the arrow strikes the target, all the energy becomes heat energy. The heat energy is rapidly transferred into the air and spreads out. Heat energy is a very disordered kind of energy. It has the highest amount of entropy, or disorder, of any kind of energy. Where do our muscles get energy to perform work, such as pulling back a bowstring? Our bodies use the chemical energy from food to perform work. Chemical energy is a form of potential energy. When your body breaks down food molecules, the stored potential energy from food can be converted to kinetic energy. The stored chemical energy in food is released in your muscle cells during the process of cellular respiration. Using oxygen, cellular respiration converts chemical energy from food to another form of chemical energy called ATP. Water, H2O, and carbon dioxide, CO2, are byproducts of cellular respiration. The potential energy of ATP can be converted to kinetic energy. Some of the kinetic energy is used to do useful work, such as pulling back a bowstring, but the heat energy that is generated cannot be used to do work.
For fun, in the next video, see how many energy transformations you can identify.